Ending a relationship is already hard, but there is something even more exhausting than the goodbye itself. It's when the other person simply won't accept that it's over. The messages don't stop, the calls keep coming, the requests for a second chance arrive as promises, as threats, as guilt. And you, who already made one of the hardest decisions of your life, find yourself having to justify that decision over and over again, as if your no needed approval to be valid. But it doesn't. When someone won't accept the end of a relationship, it is rarely just love. Most of the time, it is control. It is the inability to deal with the reality that wasn't their choice. And this has a name in psychology. We call it grief refusal, when someone cannot process the loss and starts acting to undo the other person's decision, as if the relationship could still be saved through insistence. But insistence is not love. Insistence is pressure. And pressure doesn't rebuild a relationship. It only wears down the person who has already decided to move on. There is something important you need to understand. You have no obligation to answer every message. You have no obligation to explain your decision one more time. You have no obligation to soften your choice so that he suffers less. Your pain matters too, and your boundary is real. Now, if this behavior goes beyond messages, if there's stalking, unwanted appearances, veiled or explicit threats, this is no longer insistence. It becomes harassment. And harassment needs to be taken seriously. Document everything. Tell people you trust, and if necessary, seek legal help, because your safety comes before any guilt they try to make you feel. I want to make one thing clear. You are not responsible for the pain of someone who won't accept your choice. You can have compassion for the other person's suffering without giving up what you decided. Compassion is not staying in a relationship that is already over. Compassion is recognizing that he is hurting without letting that pain cancel your right to leave. Today, I want to recommend a book. In Women Who Run with the Wolves, Clarissa Pinkola Estes talks about the importance of honoring your own instincts, including the instinct to recognize when a situation has become dangerous or suffocating, and having the courage to act on that. And a film, Gone Girl, shows in an intense way how relationships can hide dynamics of control and manipulation that only become visible when someone tries to leave. Sometimes what looks like desperate love is simply a refusal to lose control. I want to leave you with a question, not as a judgment, as a reflection. Are you trying to preserve the other person's peace, or are you postponing your own? Because the ending you gave was real, your decision was real, and you have the right to move forward without needing anyone's permission to do so. Tell us in the comments, have you ever been in a situation where you had to reaffirm an ending that the other person simply wouldn't accept? Share this video with someone who is going through this right now. Subscribe to Ties That Hurt for more reflections on relationships, self-esteem, identity, and emotional healing.